One of the finest emperors of the dynasty, Samudragupta was the second ruler of the Gupta Empire in ancient India. He ruled India as the local ruler from 330 to 380 CE. He is frequently referred to as the ideal ruler of the Gupta era, 320 to 510 CE, which has been referred to as the Golden Age of Hindu history. He is shown as a strong warrior, poet, and musician who bore marks of hundreds of wounds received in battle. He was the son of King Chandragupta I and the Lichavi princess Kamaradevi. He epitomized the Indian idea of the hero in many ways. He was a renowned conqueror who overthrew illustrious kingdoms and emperors, earning him the nickname Napoleon of India by historian A.V. Smith. Details on Samudragupta's political and military accomplishments, notably his conquest of South India, are recorded in the Allahabad Pillar Inscription, also known as the Prayaga prashasti. It was penned by Harisena, a well-known poet in his court. It suggests that he overthrew a number of monarchs in northern India and incorporated their kingdoms into his own. Along India's southeastern coast, he also marched, reaching the Pallava kingdom's Kanchipuram in the south. He also ruled over a number of frontier kingdoms and tribal oligarchies. His empire, which included numerous dynasties along the southeastern coast, spanned from the Ravi River in the west, present-day Punjab, to the Brahmaputra River in the east, present-day Assam, and from the Himalayan foothills in the north to central India in the southwest. Additionally, it says that several kings in the surrounding area tried to appease him, which possibly alludes to his cordial relationships with them. Samudragupta is also known as the father of inscriptions. Due to his sincere passion in poetry, he was also known as Kavi Raja, the king of poets. Samudragupta was the child of Queen Kamaradevi, a member of the Lichavi family, and Gupta Emperor Chandragupta I. His fragmentary Aaron stone inscription states that his father selected him as the successor because of his devotion, righteous conduct, and valor. Similar statements about him are made in his Allahabad Pillar Inscription, including how Chandragupta I designated him to protect the earth and described him as a distinguished person in front of the courtiers. These accounts imply that Chandragupta I renounced the throne in his old age and appointed his son as the next emperor. The Allahabad Pillar Inscription claims that when Chandragupta I chose him to be the next emperor, other persons of equal birth displayed a melancholy look on their faces. According to one interpretation, Samudragupta's accession to the throne was unopposed and these additional individuals were neighboring kings. The idea that these other individuals were Gupta princes with competing claims to the throne is another notion. If Emperor Chandragupta I had more than one son, Samudragupta's heritage as the son of a Lichavi princess was probably advantageous to him. Kacha, a Gupta emperor whose identification is disputed by contemporary researchers, is referred to on his coins as the destroyer of all rulers. These coins closely resemble the Samudragupta coins. One version is that Samudragupta was formerly known as Kacha and then changed his name to Samudra, which means ocean, after expanding the boundaries of his realm to include the ocean. An alternative hypothesis holds that Kacha reigned independently before or after Samudragupta and may have been a contender for the throne. According to the Gupta inscriptions, Samudragupta had a distinguished military career. The Aaron stone inscription of Samudragupta states that he had brought the whole tribe of kings under his suzerainty, and that his enemies were terrified when they thought of him in their dreams. Although no names of the conquered rulers are given in the inscription, it is implied that Samudragupta had already brought down a number of them. Samudragupta fought 100 wars, received 100 wounds that appeared to be signs of greatness, and attained the title Prakrama, according to the subsequent Allahabad Pillar Inscription, a panegyric penned by Samudragupta's minister and military officer Harisena. The Mathura stone inscription of Chandragupta II, Samudragupta is described as an exterminator of all rulers, who had no equally powerful enemy and whose fame was tasted by the waters of the four oceans. The several kings of Dakshinapatha, the southern area, were reportedly seized by Samudragupta, and later released, according to the Allahabad Pillar Inscription. Modern academics disagree on the precise identity of a few of these monarchs, but it is undeniable that they ruled over regions on India's eastern coast. Samudragupta most likely traveled through central India's forested region, arrived at the eastern shore in modern-day Odisha, and then marched south along the Bay of Bengal coast. According to the inscription, Samudragupta later released and favored these kings. The majority of contemporary academics believe Samudragupta reinstituted these kings as his tribunes. The Allahabad Pillar Inscription suggests that Samudragupta's aim was the unification of the earth, which suggests that he may have aspired to become a Chakravartin, mean, a universal ruler. He might also have been influenced by the Naga's Ashvamedha performances, which he vanquished. His southern journey may have been driven by business goals of securing trade dominance between Southeast Asia and India. A central region of Samudragupta's kingdom was situated in northern India and was under the emperor's direct rule. Additionally, it included several monarchical and tribal tributary nations. According to historian R.C. Majumdar, Samudragupta directly ruled over a region that stretched from the Vindhya hills in the south to the Himalayan foothills in the north, from the Ravi River, in Punjab, in the west to the Brahmaputra River, in Bengal and Assam, in the east. His realm largely bordered the southwestern side of an imaginary line that was drawn from Bilsa to Karnal in the present. Samudragupta's kingdom in the south undoubtedly extended to Aran in modern-day Madhya Pradesh, where his inscription has been discovered. He may have marched as far south as Kanchipuram, according to the inscription on the Allahabad Pillar. But because they come from a royal eulogy, the assertions in the Allahabad Pillar inscription need to be taken with a grain of salt. The southern monarchs just paid him tribute, they were not directly under his suzerainty. The tribal republics of modern-day Punjab and Rajasthan were reportedly weakened by Samudragupta's military conquests, but even these kingdoms were not directly subject to him. Instead, they just paid tribute. This is according to historian Kunal Chakrabarti. The assertion that Samudragupta ruled over other monarchs is questionable. According to historian Ashwini Agrawal, the legend Samudra appears on a gold coin of the Gadahara tribe, indicating that Samudragupta's rule may have extended as far as the Chenab River in the Punjab region. His period of rule was called as the Golden Age of India. The first Gupta emperor to manufacture coins was Samudragupta. Following Samudragupta's conquests in the northwest of the subcontinent, the Gupta Empire's coinage was first derived from the coinage of the Kushan Empire, adopting their weight standard, procedures, and patterns. Even the term dinara, which was eventually derived from the Roman designation denarius aureus, was borrowed by the Guptas from the Kushans for their coinage. With the exception of the headdress, a close-fitting cap rather than the Kushan pointed hat, the Garuda standard in place of the trident, and Samudragupta's Indian-made jewellery, the standard coin type of Samudragupta bears many similarities to that of the later Kushan rulers, including the sacrificial scene over an altar and the depiction of a halo. Two inscriptions from Samudragupta's reign have been discovered, those are, Allahabad Pillar Inscription and Aran Stone Inscription. Fleet theorized that the Allahabad Pillar Inscription was posthumous, and was issued during the reign of Chandragupta II, but modern scholars disagree with this theory. Two other records are attributed to Samudragupta's reign, but the genuineness of these records is disputed. Those are Nalanda inscription, dated to the regnal year 5 and Gaya inscription, dated to the regnal year 9. Both of these inscriptions claim that the Gupta official Gopaswaman gave the order for them to be written. These documents refer to Samudragupta as the restorer of the Ashvamedha sacrifice, just like the Chandragupta II stone inscription does. Records published so early in Samudragupta's reign make reference to this allegation, which is absent from the later Allahabad Pillar inscription. This appears odd. One hypothesis is that these documents were created under Samudragupta's rule, suffered damage over time, and were then restored by Chandragupta II. To demonstrate his imperial dominance, he offered the Ashvamedha sacrifice and was unbeatable in combat. He may have been a talented poet who also played musical instruments like the veena, as evidenced by his gold coins and inscriptions. His son and successor Chandragupta II continued his expansionist policy. On Samudragupta's coinage, he is portrayed as a tall, powerful guy. He is portrayed as a caring leader in the Allahabad Pillar Inscription, which states that his thought was busy in bringing aid to the low, the poor, the helpless, and the afflicted. Additionally, it states that many royal families who had lost their kingdoms, including the kings he had vanquished, had been restored. It also claims that he maintained a rigid administrative style. According to the inscription, Samudragupta gained notoriety among the learned due to his poetical efforts and attained the title, King of Poets. This implies that he wrote some poetry, but none of them are still in existence. The inscription further boasts that Samudragupta's beautiful musical performances embarrassed the celestial musicians Tumburu and Narada. Samudragupta's gold coins, which feature him playing the veena, further attest to his musical prowess. The inscription extols Samudragupta's knowledge and intellect, saying that his keen brain embarrassed Brihaspati, the tutor of the Lord of the Gods. According to the Gupta dynasty's official records, Chandragupta II, Samudragupta's son from Duttadevi, succeeded his father as king. A group of contemporary historians think that Samudragupta was initially succeeded by Ramagupta, perhaps the eldest son, who was subsequently overthrown by Chandragupta II, based on a reconstruction of the largely lost Sanskrit play Devachandraguptam.